What is going on? You are listening to TAGSPodcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast, celebrating 6 years of podcasting. I'm your host, Stevie, and this is episode 496. Alongside, welcome back, Lincoln. How you doing, Lincoln?
So good. It's good to be back. Good to see you and to hear your voices. I love it.
Absolutely. I want to catch up with you in a sec. Of course, joining us is Kodi, Maurice, Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darlings. I'm doing wonderful. It's a beautiful evening here. Good to see you guys.
Nice. Well, Lincoln, we have to ask you, happy belated birthday.
Thank
How did you celebrate?
Well, one of the ways I celebrated is I got up and saw the great video that you guys made for my birthday. So thank you for that. I appreciated the visual birthday video. I loved it from you guys. My birthday is kind of celebrated from Madonna's birthday on the 16th all the way through Labor Day. So I'm still in the middle of it. We're seeing Leah Michelle's last show this coming weekend, and I got dinner with family while I was in California. The day of my birthday, I actually went to the, oh my God, I can't remember. Oh, the Claremont Country Club in the Oakland Hills, and went to lunch with my dad's oldest brother and his wife. And then that night we had great Italian food in the Bay Area with a close friend of mine and her husband. And Peter got me some beautiful gifts and some beautiful cards. I show one of them is a Wednesday Addams card that says 1 year closer to death. Which to death's cold embrace. I love that card. And it's so cute. He did quotes from Morticia and Gomez Addams inside. It was very sweet and very thoughtful. Aww. And we had a good trip to California. The more time I spend there, the more I want to be there. So that's a good thing to keep in the back of my mind. It was good. Another year older, another year wiser, I hope.
And sexier.
Nice. Very cool. Well, you're back in New York. Kodi is house sitting for me also in New York. And I am in Puerto Vallarta. If you watch our social media, you'll see that. Well, one of the things I wanted to share with you, this funny story. I went to get a massage twice, actually, at this salon here in Puerto Vallarta. And the first time I went in there, it was so funny. I walked into this place. There was this hot guy that looked like maybe he was a masseur, but didn't say anything. I went to the front desk. This woman checked me in and brought me to my room. Well, she said, go ahead, take your clothes off. You can put this towel on your butt if you want to. It was a really nice room. And I kept thinking, is she my masseur or who's my masseur? Because nobody ever really introduced themselves in that way. And so I spent the whole massage when the door, you know how they do that little knock on the door, like if you're ready, wondering who's going to be walking in that door. And they still didn't say anything. So I'm wondering, is it going to be her as female hands or that mystery hot guy when I walked into the salon or somebody completely different? Had no idea. I just figured I'm just going to go with it. Mystery massage, right? So I'm very...
Wow, high expectation for a massage. My God.
Well,
right? And we'd love to see her do it, by the way.
I'm foreshadowing with this story, y'all. So anyway,
I'm sure she's amazing.
What happened? So the massage starts. I can't predict if they're a man's or a woman's. And then pretty soon after that, I'm pretty certain they're men's hands. Nice hands, I would add. And I just decided I will figure out who it is when they flip me over. But that's like halfway through the massage, and I'll take a peek.
Sounds like a Friday night. Y'all figure it out who it is when they flip me over.
My friend made this whole exactly. My friend made this whole comment like, if you had known it was the hot guy at the front, you could have been actually imagining him the whole time. And is everything okay, Kodi? You're good?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay, good. So he was making some marks there. I was like, so he flips me over and I take a peek. It's that guy that was at the very front of the salon when I got there, who was really sexy and hot, but not the greatest masseur, but at least he was hot, right?
Yeah.
Cut to going back yesterday, same salon. This time I was greeted by my masseur who actually introduced himself. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he did say, I will be your masseur. Walk me to my room. He was very cute. This time I opted out of putting the towel on my butt. So I was just naked on this table, knocked on the door. I knew it was him. I heard his voice again. There was no mystery. And proceeded to have a really good deep tissue massage. The other guy wasn't that great. Well, when we got to the flipping over part, he's massaging my legs. I got a little excited. And can I tell you, I got one of the best happy endings I've ever had from a massage. Really hot.
Nice.
The only fun, interesting part about it was they put these kind of a washcloth over your eyes that fit your eyes so you're not seeing light come through. And the whole time he was doing all the happy ending to me that was really fun, I couldn't decide if I should take it off and look at him or keep it on. So I kept it on until it fell off before I came. And I mean, it was just like this whole awkward thing, but it was really fun. And I said, thank you. I said, that was amazing. He says, my pleasure. So so we will be going back, I think. Yeah, I just gotta try and remember his name. So hopefully they keep track of that in their system because it would be really good.
Oh, they will. They'll say who did I have the last time? That'll work.
Exactly.
And can I be blindfolded again, please?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yummy.
It's funny.
Okay, well, we love it when you talk back to us. And one of the stories that we were recently reporting on was a study that's being done in the UK about prostate cancer. The normal way of doing it is to get your PSA levels checked. And what they're finding is they're not always the most accurate. In other words, a lot of people can show a low level in the PSA test and still have prostate cancer. So what this university is actually doing is trying out an MRI test, which they think is a better predictor because most prostate cancer is treatable when detected early. That's just the truth of it all. So it would be great if they get that into motion. We do it here in the States as well, because if you do, I mean, an MRI, I think you were saying, Lincoln, before that it's not all doctors, it costs a lot of money, but I think
MRIs are hard. It depends on your insurance. It depends on so much. Yeah, they're hard.
Hopefully, if they can get this study done, they can prove that it would save money, because if you could determine it, it's probably more expensive to have somebody have prostate cancer, chemotherapy, and all those things, have it removed and so forth. So it would be great.
Not only money, lives as well. It could save lives, and that's the most important thing.
What I will say that, because PSA also stands for public service announcement, correct? Am I wrong?
Yes.
I am, okay.
Yeah,
so I'm going to do a little public service announcement, and I know this is maybe a little luxury, but Peter and I, One Medical? Have you guys heard of One Medical?
No,
so One Medical is like a doctor concierge, and you pay a monthly fee. So it does cost money. I don't know how much One Medical is, but we found this doctor concierge called Flatiron Medical here in New York, and we pay a monthly fee. It's $100. It has been such better healthcare ever since I did it. So it's on top of your insurance, but they follow up with you. There is never a rush when I'm meeting with my doctor. I have a female doctor, and she has found things that my doctor for over 20 years was not on top of. And if you could find something, I'm not endorsing One Medical. I'm only saying that having that little extra money, I see her every 3 months. She's very on top of it. So just guys, be careful of your healthcare. Make sure you go to the doctor, whether you have a service or not, and talk to them about all your blood work. It's important.
Yeah.
That's really good. And then on top of that, we have a listener that wrote in based on episode 495 that essentially said that he had gone for his annual PSA test and his result was a low 1.5, which is good. Well, he then visited a proctologist and he commented that the prostate seemed hard, not in a good way. Haha, right, is the listener. I went to see my urologist. He confirmed the finding and requested I have a biopsy done. Long story, my number was 8 out of 10. And at that point, the only thing to do was a removal of the prostate.
Wow.
So remembering his numbers had always been low, seems not all that PSA tests, he says, reflect the proper information. So to the point of the study, he was saying this MRI thing could be good, because to have been diagnosed and in this case, this listener is healthy and in shape, he could have potentially prevented the agony and mental anguish that he had to go through. So I hope they get this study through. I like your advice to link in on that. We'll see. But I hope it goes through because I like the MRI idea.
Totally agree.
Okay, well, let's get into some hot topics. And we couldn't help but notice that somebody that I actually have loved for years and years, he's a legend in his own right. I'm talking about Carlos Santana. I was just talking about him yesterday because he's guesting on an album, FKJ. And I was like, oh, Carlos Santana is on this album. This is so cool. Well, a day later, I know a little bit more about Carlos Santana that I'm not really happy about. He was in concert in Atlantic City telling the audience out of the blue, it seems, quote, when God made you and me before we came out of the womb, you know who you are and what you are. Later on, when you grow out of it, you see things and you start believing that you could be something that sounds good. But you know it ain't right because a woman is a woman and a man is a man. That's it. Whatever you want to do, get this part, in the closet, that's your business. I'm okay with that. I am like, this is my brother, Dave Chappelle. Okay. And after, as you can imagine, backlash, he wrote to Billboard saying, I am sorry for my insensitive comments. They don't reflect that I want to honor and respect all persons' ideals and beliefs. I realize that what I said hurt people, and that was not my intent. I sincerely apologize to the transgender community and everyone I offended. So it's just, it couldn't be more an about face of viewpoints. And the crazy thing is, I don't even know why he felt the need to say this in the first place. It's just, I'm like, ugh, yuck. Why is it always older men that have to say, come out and ruin their careers and say stupid things like this? I don't know, Lincoln. What do you think when you hear this?
It's not only men. It's not Roseanne. I mean, I think it's really great when someone speaks their mind and then follows it up with a lawyer's response.
Right.
So that's your take. And now that you've stepped in it, you have a lawyer dictating what you're saying. Okay. I mean, I have no vested interest in this person, so it doesn't matter to me either way, but we just all have to watch what we say. And there's a lot of things being said out there that just shows where people are and shows where we are as a society, but we're still definitely better than we were 10 years ago and better than we were 5 years ago, no matter what Mr. Santana thinks or doesn't think.
Yeah, I mean, Kodi, it's so crazy because you'd have to be living under a rock, which he is clearly not, to know that the country is so divided right now and to say something like that. He got some applause in the audience, believe it or not. I mean, it's Atlantic City, so probably some conservatives there. Yeah.
But not everybody. New Jersey?
I love it. You have many homes, dear. But
I mean, definitely.
What was he thinking?
12-year-old me is so disappointed that I can't listen to Smooth anymore by Carlos Santana or Maria. But, I am willing to do it because these comments are so inflammatory, and to advocate for hiding who you are as a person is so dangerous. Mr. Santana, Carlos, if you're nasty, is so it's just really dangerous. And I feel like people like him they have a hard time seeing outside of themselves and looking to other people's experiences. And I think that if he took some time to open up his mind and really see other people's point of view, then he would be much better off. And you know what? He might be too old right now.
But the thing is, he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He must care because he had that statement put out because I think he saw the backlash.
But like what was your intention then?
Somebody wrote that for him.
Yeah.
Somebody wrote that for him 100%. Just like with Neo.
Say the beginning of his statement again, Steve.
The beginning of the statement. Oh, yeah. It was. I know what you're trying to say.
The intent. You don't use the word intent off the cuff.
When God made you, When God made you and me before we came out of the womb, you know who you are and what you are. Later on, when you grow out of it, you see things and you start believing that you could be something that sounds good, but you know it ain't right because a woman is a woman and a man is a man. That's it. Whatever you want to do in the closet, that's what gets me. That's your business. So I'm also wondering, is he homophobic in general?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
in the closet.
The beginning of
I don't
his
wonder.
response to that. Read the beginning of his backup of it.
The lawyer's response.
I am sorry for my insensitive comments. They don't reflect that I want to honor and respect all persons' ideals and beliefs.
Yeah, that's
Keep going.
jargon.
What's the next line?
I realize that what I said hurt people and that was not my intent.
Then what was your intent? That's my question. The moment he said that was not my intent, you're throwing people that you have no idea what they're going through under a bus. And whenever we do that, whether it's the sales clerk at Staples or the person on the bike who just cut you off, or your intent is not to love them. Your intent is to shame them for their behavior because you didn't get what you wanted or you don't believe what you think they represent to you. And that's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not an evolved society. That's a pretty ass-backwards society, and we're better than that.
Speaking of old rockers, Alice Cooper, I don't know if you know who he is, but rocker from back in the day, also came out saying, I'm understanding that there are cases of transgender, but I'm afraid that it's also a fad. And I'm afraid there's a lot of people claiming to be this just because they want to be that, he replied. I find it wrong when you've got a 6-year-old kid who has no idea. He just wants to play and you're confusing him, telling him, yeah, you're a boy, but you could be a girl if you want to be. And he goes on to talk about bathrooms. And that's why potentially we have rapes that occur, which is not, there's no studies that prove any of that by having open restrooms for all people. The clincher of it is he has a couple of glam rocker makeup companies that have actually canceled him.
Didn't he used to bite off rats' heads when he was in concert?
Yes.
So what? Right. No, okay, great.
That was Ozzy Osbourne.
Was that Ozzy Osbourne? Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. It's funny. I wasn't sure if it was Ozzy Osbourne or him, but check the source.
He's a man named Alice. So
say that again, Kodi.
I don't know. He's a man named Alice, so he should really reconsider some things.
Good point.
Like, look at your life, Miss Alice. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's move on because this one really we wanted to do with Lincoln because Lincoln always talks about using, I think it's some of the apps, Scruff in particular, as a way to connect with many of your friends or acquaintances, correct? You always say that, right?
Oh, totally.
There's a new business story that says, is Grindr the new sexy LinkedIn? Because a surprising number of men are using the app and hookup app, Grindr, to find something other than sex. And while it remains primarily used for locating a suitable partner for hookups, Grindr actually revealed approximately a quarter of users are online to network. And a spokesperson for Grindr told Business Insider the app is an effective tool for folks looking to connect with other gay men for personal and professional relationships. According to data from a survey of Grindr users, approximately 25% of the users say that one of their key activities on Grindr is to network. And they also said, we know people use our app to meet new people in their area and in new towns. And we have plenty of research evidence of people making connections that lead to professional opportunities. But it also went on to say that a lot of people use it to make friends. And that part, I think I wouldn't use it that way. I don't really use the apps at all. I have to go out and meet people. I'm a very tactile person. It just doesn't work for me. But hey, for those that it does work for, I think it's great. I mean, Kodi, then we want to hear from Lincoln because he definitely uses it in a certain way. Do you use it just to hook up or meet friends or have you ever gotten a job out of it?
I've definitely gotten a job out of it, but not that kind that I can claim on my 401k or my W-2 or anything.
Well done, Kodi. That was a good one. I like that.
We're never back to my massage, right?
Oh God.
It was like right there. I was like, pow, pow, pow. Yes, good. Out the ballpark.
You made up for earlier today. We won't tell the audience
you.
what happened. Yes.
Funny.
Yeah, I could definitely see the networking aspect of Grindr, because I do think that with Grindr, it's people that are in your area, and I feel like you generally and genuinely gravitate towards the kind of people that you want to gravitate towards, that are like you or they have common interests with you. And I could definitely see getting a job, or in my case, I've met musicians on there before. Oh, one guy I work with that I did a song with, I met him on Grindr.
Oh.
And I know, you know him. We
But
had
you
him on the
also
show
had some
before.
fun with him too.
Oh yeah, I had sex with him too.
Well, hey,
right?
if you can check both boxes, why not?
They're
right,
not
baby.
mutually exclusive. I don't.
They
think
are not.
Yeah, no
Well,
one
depending
said
on what
that.
job Kodi was going for, but you were singer, not.
Yeah, so there's definitely ways to do it. And I've always been a huge proponent and an advocate for use things for what that you, anything can be anything. Instagram can be a hookup app, you know, Grindr can be a networking app. You know what? Whatever you want it to be for, you use it for that, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I love it for the friendship idea, especially when you're traveling too. I think it's a great way. If you went traveling by yourself, it's a great way to meet people. If it turns into something else, I love that idea. I think for guys that have, or people that have OnlyFans accounts, it's a great way. You always have to produce new content. What better way to find new material from there? Lincoln, tell us a little bit about how you use it. I don't think it's Grindr, but it's Scruff, correct?
Yeah, I still can't get back on Grindr, and I don't care. I just want to delete my photos from there, but I can't read.
Oh, that's right. You're locked out.
It's so stupid. But Scruff, I was at the opening party when they launched Scruff. I have Peter, hand me that. What the Peter's?
Do we get a prop?
No, we do. We get a prop because I got this at the opening party. I have Scruff shot glasses. Aren't they adorable?
I want some. They're so cute.
We keep Salty Pretzels medication applicator in it now, which is really. And I was always like, "Is it for alcohol or G? I don't know. It's Scruff." I've just always seen Scruff as a place to look at events, because there's a whole events calendar within the Scruff app, and I have had people ask me to work at the bakery through Scruff, and they've always said, like, this is kind of a weird place to do this, but I see that you're online. I have a friend who just moved to New York. Are you hiring right now? Because I know you like to hire gay people at the bakery if they're a match, which has always been really nice. But I could take it to this last trip. Peter and I arrived in San Francisco right before Dory Alley. And I went on to Scruff and learned about the Big Muscle Party, which was at DNA Lounge, which is one of my favorite venues there. I got the newsletter through email for the Mr. S Dory party, which was the Saturday before. They had a beer blast that was free and you went shopping. Cool. And then I looked at friends who had flown from Florida, from New York, and from Europe to be at Dory Alley. How else would I have known they were there if they were not in my favorites on Scruff? So it's really? Yeah, absolutely. And
am I in your favorites?
And I don't know if we've chatted on Scruff, have we?
We should. We definitely.
Did you ask me for one job or another? I don't know.
I love it.
So yeah, I think, but like Kodi said, which is a great point. Any app can be used for any purpose. I just don't, like I've said this to you before, I don't randomly think of going through my text messages to wonder who might be in San Francisco for Dory Alley. Like maybe if one person pops into my mind, but knowing my mind, I wouldn't even know their name anyway. So to have them all, because I'm horrible at names, so to have them all under favorites in an app that is gay leaning, and other people use it to have sex all the time, I guess. I don't know.
And listen, I love our community because many of us are so sex positive, and we are open about talking about sex. We're not hiding in shame, and we can also talk seriously and make connections for jobs, friendships, and we just know how to juggle. And I give our community a lot of credit for that. So I think it's really cool.
We are resourceful.
Yeah, why not? I use Instagram a lot to meet new people. That seems to be the new way. Instead of being so forward to ask for somebody's phone number, it's a good way to ask for someone's Insta. And then that way you can scroll. You can kind of get a picture idea of their lifestyle.
Definitely.
And you can always DM them, slide into them or whatever. So I think that's another good way as well. But yeah. Oh, yep. As we speak, I just got an Archer, I went to the Archer launch party, which is the brand new app. So we'll check that out later. Okay, let's move on because this caught my attention. And I want to know, speaking of travel, a friend wrote, a friend wants to only do bathhouses and gay clubs when we travel. So imagine these two buddies, they travel together all the time. Not all the time. It's the second trip that they went on a trip together. During the day, the guy writes, he wants to sleep in, chill in the hotel at night, go to gay bars, and then bathhouses. I'm like, you can do this in your hometown. Let's try different things like a beach, a hike, a museum, good food. But none of that interests him. He's over 35 years old. I don't know why that's important, but okay. Right? He's boy obsessed. And sometimes I worry about him. I'm down to do a gay night twice or so, but every single night for a week, that's too much. Am I being an asshole for thinking about this? I think you are kind of the person who wrote this in, because I also think you're incompatible travel buddies. Like, if this is the second time, why are you writing into Reddit? Like, find a new travel partner that likes to go to museums and only go out a couple nights a week. Kodi, what do you think?
When I travel, I love to do everything all the time. And I think that
what is that movie?
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Yes. Okay. I have to do that. I barely sleep when I go away, because I think that the more that I can get in and the more of the culture that I can experience when I go away, the better I will
hydrated
know about.
You are.
With something, definitely. It might not be water, but I'll be hydrated with something.
It's hilarious.
In all of my holes. And anyway, but yeah, I just am all about soaking up as much culture in a place as humanly possible. So I see this man's point about wanting to go to the museums, but I also see the other guy's point about wanting to go out to the bathhouses and to the clubs and experiencing that aspect of gay culture in another city. It's completely different.
And to your point, a lot of people don't live in major cities, or they're work obsessed. They don't have a lot of free time when they're at home. And so sometimes a holiday, a vacation is for letting loose, finding men. Maybe they've done all the men in their city and they're like, there's nobody to do. So I want to meet. This is why I go on vacation. And it also depends, Lincoln, where they're going. Some holidays, vacations are conducive to experiencing the culture and the museums and the everything else. Some are like parking yourself, like, on a beach chair. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Well, I think that the one person should go to more events like Bear Week or P-Town on a certain carnival, or, if you want to dive deep into gay culture, he sounds like a great person to do that with. Finding the balance of also going to a museum, maybe that's just not that trip. I'm not going to shame either one of these people. You're right. They don't seem like great travel buddies, depending on the destination. You know what I mean? But if you have a wild hair and you just want to do nothing but saunas and sex clubs and gay bars, there's no problem with that. It's just not traveling with that other person. I have to say, when in the past, when I've gone and done that too much, I say to myself, I have to take myself to a museum, because I'm losing perspective and I'm missing the whole town. There's so many great things to see here that why go to the same sauna or all three saunas, whatever that looks like.
Right. There was a brief period where I went with a couple friends to a circuit event in another state or country, and everybody was on this cycle of party, 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 sleep, 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 reserve your energy, eat very minimal food, rinse and repeat. And I was like, oh, I want to go do this. I want to go do that. This isn't my kind of trip. I realized I did it one time only, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, because it's not my kind of travel. I need a cocktail. I need to do a little sightseeing. I don't mind going out. I'm very eclectic in what I like to do. But it just sounds like they're incompatible, and they both need to find different travel buddies or travel by themselves. I'm not sure.
You know what, though? It also kind of sounds to me like they need some of what the other has. So maybe they are good travel buddies, and maybe they need to get outside of their comfort zones and actually go with each other to these places. So
that would be nice. Yeah.
That's a great perspective. I like that. Especially if they're friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, your friends, you don't want to give up a friend just because their travel taste at a certain moment is different. Because I don't know, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have been at every Sets Club every day. Now, seen that, done that. I've grown up. I'm not in the mood. I might grow into it again sometime down the road. But today, not, live in today, right?
I love it. Okay, let's move on. If you've heard some sounds outside, I am learning what it's like to be in a tropical environment in the month of August and September here in Puerto Vallarta. When the clouds come every afternoon, I just saw lightning. It's like a bomb of... Oh, did you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it. It sounds like we're being bombed. I did hear that. My friend jumped out of the couch the other day. He's from California. I was like, oh... It's so freaky. And then it starts pouring, but it's like the loudest bomb threat I've ever imagined. It's crazy. So anyway, sidebar.
So you've had the best release at a massage ever, and now you're having the worst bomb threat ever. Sounds like you're having a good trip, Steve. At least you're not dramatic or anything. It's good.
No, I'm not.
It's so diverse.
We actually had an earthquake when we were in California.
I heard about that earthquake. Was it?
Yeah, did you feel it? I was asleep. Okay. I felt nothing. But Peter got thrown off the toilet at 7 a.m. or whenever it happened.
A true
and it was his first, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean. See, when you're not, the people that live here, locals are like, yeah, it's normal. And I'm like, when does it not become normal? Because this should be crazy. Okay. This story, I sent it to you. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it. Don't worry if you haven't, but it's by a videographer, that makes fun videos, Michael Henry. I know you know him, Kodi, or know of him. Super hilarious. He does these skits. Well, the current one is LA gays versus New York gays. It was so funny. Did either of you guys watch it yet?
I watched it.
I tried.
Okay. Well, it's so funny. The New York gays, the Homo sapiens, I believe, is what they go by. They're a sketch comedy duo, met up with Michael and his friends, and they met on the East Coast, and they started throwing out funny, hilarious lines like the smell of New York versus the lack thereof. And then the New Yorkers go, well, maybe you can't smell it because of your nose job and your high cheekbones.
Very
and
funny.
They keep throwing it back. And what were some of the things? I had all of them in my mind a minute ago. Do you remember some of the jokes, Kodi?
I just remember green juice and the LA people not eating. I just remember all the LA slurs. I don't remember the ones about us because I'm not.
Because they were completely false and they didn't land at all. No.
I think the best thing to do is to post this on TAGSPodcast.com, but we can ourselves have a conversation because I actually lived in LA before I lived in New York. And so I get both cultures. There is a different cultural, there's one funny moment in the video where somebody comes running up and he's like, stop this fighting. We can't be fighting like this. And they're like, where are you from? Chicago. And it's like, they're like, oh, forget that.
Bro.
And so there is an
funny.
East Coast, West Coast rival. Lincoln, you've lived on both coasts like myself, unlike our Kansas City over there guy, Kodi. But did you notice a cultural difference between the two coasts? I mean, I did.
Absolutely. But I'm from Northern California. I would never be from LA. That's gross.
I lived in LA, but yeah.
Yuck. Not my flavor.
You're not very LA at all, I think.
No, but I will say I have had some beautiful moments in LA. I did. I'm just kidding. It's a random story.
LA
it's a great story that can only happen in LA. This was in the early 90s, and I was doing choreography for fashion shows for Benetton on tour, and I got hired by a hair convention to do choreography around the presentations for like Vidal Sassoon, and it was like models dancing and stuff. And we went out to Arena and went dancing, and all of the Madonna dancers were there from Blonde Ambition. And we got my models and those dancers, we all danced together. And I actually became friends with Kevin, and he had me back to his apartment with a few other people, and we got to see the costumes. Because it was so there are beautiful LA stories that are so like full and rich and gorgeous, but on a day-to-day,
Yeah, Kodi, do you see this rivalry between the two coasts, and is there something to this skit that resonates?
I mean, I don't see the rivalry, honestly. I just think that I'm the Chicago queen, I guess, because I think we should all just get along. You know, the lives are completely different, I think. But I do think that we have more in common than we don't have in common. I do see that I could be in LA, and I don't know if I could ever live in LA though, because everything is so far apart.
Yeah,
so I don't
spread
know.
out. Yeah.
It's so spread out.
It's also funny.
Go ahead.
It's funny that you sent this when you did. It's funny that you sent. Sorry, we're gonna edit. It's funny that you sent this when you did, because after staying in California for so long, Peter and I were very cognizant of not putting down our life in New York while we stayed in California. And now that we're back after being there for almost 4 weeks, I'm trying to be like, New York is New York. It has its pluses and its minuses. Right. Now, when we go to California, let's enjoy the life here. And if you have the benefit of being able to travel or spend time in any city, putting down another city to enjoy the city you're in is a little silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's the conclusion of the video. We'll let people watch it, but it's like, we can actually get along. Let's just fuck. And that's hilarious.
Exactly.
I'm spending a lot of time here in Puerto Vallarta. It's become almost my second home. And but like you said, Lincoln, there are pros and cons to anywhere you live. If you're fortunate to get out of that town for a minute to refresh, and it's even better, because any place you live, I think, can just ride on you. So, yeah.
That's right. I do want a LA face with the Oakland booty shirt, though. I want a shirt that says that.
Oh, is that what one of the guys was wearing in there? Yes.
Oh no, I just want that shirt.
Oh, okay. I love it.
It's from Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sorry, I just had to put that out there.
I love it. Okay, nice. Lastly, one more Reddit. They wrote in this: is it weird to not finish as a bottom for all hookups? Okay, hear me out. They wrote, "Hi, gay bros. I would like to ask you guys on here whether it's unusual to not come as a bottom for the hookup that you went on. I was getting hard when we made out, kissing, cuddling, side stuff, but was kind of getting soft when the top sucks my cock or when he's inside me. Maybe I was worried. I could feel the disappointment from some tops that I couldn't come and didn't want to come either, although I could always make them finish. Is there anyone having the same experience of not coming?" And one of the people that I thought what they wrote, they said, "Frankly, I don't know what goes through the minds of other tops. I always take pride in making my bottoms come before me, at least 90% of the time. Not everybody's always, it depends on the hookup, I think. I've been with people before where it's just going to be a quickie ram bam and somebody's able to come really fast. I've had the massage experience where it happened really quickly and everybody was on the same page. But sometimes that maybe you take a little bit longer and you're like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. I don't know. Kodi, what are your thoughts on this?
Generally speaking, I can make a bottom come pretty well and quickly. Not even really quickly, just before bragging. Me. I'm not trying to brag. It's the truth. But I do think that for me, because it takes me a while to actually come. So I feel for this guy, because it takes me so long to actually, because I think that I'm so giving. Oh my God, this sounds like I'm really just.
We're not editing this out either.
I just feel like I really want the other person to enjoy themselves a lot. So I put a lot into making them come, and that it hinders me from coming. So does that make sense?
It does make sense. Lincoln, I mean, a lot of people put a lot of pressure on that climax moment, the come moment, but for a lot of people, they are enjoying it. What are your thoughts on this?
I think we have to be considerate. First of all, there's no right or wrong in sex.
Right.
It sucks. There is no right or wrong. And if someone is challenged and can't come quickly, like Kodi, just thought I'd put you back in your place and call you challenge.
No, you know what?
I don't know. I totally know what you're saying. I didn't mean to say challenge, but personally, I'm just playing with you. But no, if this person who wrote into Reddit or whatever is self-conscious about not being able to come when he bottoms, well, then he needs an arm around him, and someone needs to say it's okay, come or not, no pressure, because then he might be able to. You know, personally, I can come on a dime in under 30 seconds. Like I am so fast and can just be like, okay, I need to knock this out.
Episode.
Because I used to, when I was in retail for a long time, if I would get stressed out, I'd just be like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And I go to the bathroom, jerk off, let it go, get in a better frame of mind. I still do it. And then come back to work. I can focus in my mind. And that's not, sometimes it's a problem because I come too fast and then I'm like, meh, I'm done.
Wait, I'm still hung up on you used to jack off at work. You used to jack off at work?
So does our other co-host, Jeremy. So,
that's right. We talked about this. But I used to, in my 20s and 30s, it's not so much now, but in my 20s and 30s, I was like a 15 a day. And just coming a lot. Yeah, we talked about this. Because if you keep coming like that, it all of a sudden it becomes dry. And you just feel the orgasm without anything coming out, which is fun.
Right, and less of a mess to clean up at work.
Right,
so, yeah.
Exactly. I also remember, I don't use lube, because then you have to wash your hands after it. So I don't need lube either. Yeah.
You're not washing your hands after?
Well, I can wash my hands, but it's not like there's lube all over my phone when I got... I don't know what's happening. Right. Anyway.
Me either. I'm enjoying it, though.
I am, too. It's nice.
Oh, my God. This has been so much fun, you guys. As always, and welcome back, Lincoln. It's great to see your face and hear your
Good to see you, too.
Opinions. Yeah, exactly. You can follow all of our co-hosts. You can follow Lincoln at Protein Bakery. I swear he'll wash his hands. Follow it at Protein Bakery.
Work, by the way.
Maybe you don't want him to. That could be a good thing too. At Protein Bakery on Instagram, or his personal account at Mad Lincoln. At Mad Lincoln. Follow Kodi. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching, or his personal account, Mr. Maurice. And follow me. I am _Steve V. Follow Tags Podcast, TAGSPodcast.com. We will be live on Wednesday with Tags Live at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Get the link on TAGSPodcast.com, plus show notes. And guys, in the meantime, continue having hot
gay sex.